Yes, and you're not taking care of what you got to take care
Right.
of,
Right.
and it's upsetting. You got to remind me to hit go live. I didn't go live
Oh
early
no.
online, but we're okay. We're okay. We're there now.
Okay.
But security at a nightclub is so much more than let's train them for 8 hours and go.
Yeah,
And
it's not going to be 8 hours. They need to,
my next
especially.
question is it a paid for training? Is it just going to be a revenue stream? And they come in and say, "Look, we don't want you at the front door, and you got to do this, and you got to wear a weapon." Or
Why all of a sudden are we just because this is their solution to the fighting is that they're gonna train police officers? That's how they're gonna.
Well,
I mean, I'm
instance,
not giving Chief Wade a hard time because I know
Well,
what
it
he
goes
goes
back-
under. But what about the mayor? Is this what the mayor's doing, trying to
well, let's talk about this.
get people talking about something else?
The other, the killing the week before was at that other club that I think is on Bailey, right? I can't remember where it is, but you had another killing at a club. It's 2 people dead. It's 7:45 a.m. Now, what's wrong with that picture?
It's supposed to be shut down. What, at 2?
2 o'clock.
Close it down.
Yeah,
clear them out.
So if people aren't following the rules,
right?
How do you expect them to hire a security guard? And they're not going to want to pay. I mean, a cop's going to want $25 an hour, okay, or more.
Exactly.
Okay? And you're going to put them down there in harm's way. You'll get some that'll work for that, and you'll get some that work for less. But some of these people that get trained will be working for beer. I mean, it happens. Don't say it. I mean, I know it happens. The guy says, "Oh, I'm gonna cut him some slack, and he'll give me some money at the end of the night, and they'll be at the front door drinking."
Yeah.
And
you cannot be doing that.
I got me a little Courvoisier.
You can't, because the alcohol. You can't bartend and drink. You can't be security at a bar and drink. It just doesn't work.
Well, that makes logical sense, Chip.
It doesn't.
You're running a bar. Logic is out the door.
Well, I mean, it makes sense if you're paying him in beers, he's leaving and going home, and you're giving him a 12-pack to go home and sit down. But it's not drink while you're here and working. You can't drink behind a bar and work. Or I guess a lot of people can, and they do. I don't think that you should.
No, you legally you can't.
No, you can't. But people do, and
exactly. But if you're breaking the rule to stay open to 7:45 a.m. on Sunday morning,
right?
You're probably breaking all the other rules too.
Right. True.
And that's the problem. I mean, you have to make a conscious effort to make everyone play by the rules in the area they are located.
Yep.
And you probably will go into some of these places that only have a beer license or call themselves a private club, and they have no licenses for alcohol.
Right.
And they got a back room where they get a case. They have a buddy, and they go buy a case of half pints and sell those half pints out the back door.
Right.
I mean, this is what's going on. This is the culture of what you got to police.
Well, clean up. How about change? Instead of policing, let's get it running.
And so the situation is, in order to fix Jackson, this gets us back to that thing. It's going to be tough. You got to do it. You got to break it up, as Kim Wade would say, break it up at the door. It's got to become super strong.
Yep.
You've got it's got to be zero tolerance.
And it's going to have to if we're going to do with downtown what I would like to do with downtown and make it kind of a tourist attraction for residents of tourist attraction cities like New Orleans. We're going to have it clean down there and have it nice and have it pretty to draw people in and move these clubs.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Neighborhood.
And I mean, there's a reason why people do not need to be at a bar at 7:00 in the morning, because if you're at a bar at 7:00 in the morning, it means you've been drinking.
Okay.
All night.
We're going to take a break. We're going to talk some more right here on WYAB with the Chip Matthews Show and Taylor Turcottee sitting in on the full story with Matt Bishop. I said it all. I got it all out.
You did, didn't you?
There you go. Right here on WYAB. boom, 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 boom. I don't know what kind of music we have every day. It's just like surprise.
we don't even know our cue music.
We're
either.
back here on the Chill Matthews Show with Taylor Turcottee filling in on the Matt Bishop Show. But this is my understanding is this will be our slot.
Yep. I'm shifting my sleep cycle for it. So.
And of course, coming in at 7 o'clock, the world-renowned
Clay Edwards.
The Clay Edwards Show. I wonder what he'll have going on today.
I don't know. I wonder if he's listening to us coming in.
No, probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not. You know.
Okay.
He's concentrating
on
driving and making sure he doesn't get shot as he passes through Jackson.
Get serious. Nobody's getting shot. I came from the center of Jackson this morning from where he would be coming. So no, I'm not gonna.
You have no idea.
Nobody's getting shot on his. Now I'm not saying not in the city of Jackson, but on his route, he's not gonna get hit by any.
Surely you think. I mean, when you come out, when we hit 49 and come past Presidential Hills and all that, you don't. Okay.
I mean, I don't, not at 7 o'clock in the morning.
They killed 2 people in front of a bar at 7:45 a.m.
In front of a bar, not driving down the highway on their way to work on a weekday morning.
When you leave the bar, where do you go? You get on the highway.
Yes, but it's not Saturday morning.
That was Sunday morning.
Sunday morning. It's a work day. That's what I'm saying.
It's supposed to be getting ready for church. But anyway. Anyway, tonight I will be in Canton.
Okay.
At the Canton High School for the mayoral, and I think we have some we call them aldermen. Right. And we're going to be having a meet and greet and a small debate.
Nice.
And someone asked me, who will remain nameless, who is also running for mayor.
Okay.
One of the Democrats asked me, Chip, are you going to bring up the fact that there's a person that is a front runner for mayor of Canton who has been suspended from teaching school for 10 years? Are you going to confront her with that? I said, why wouldn't you every time you saw her?
Have you not been listening to my show? I've been doing it already.
I said, yes. I said, don't let me get on stage and everybody's playing nice, because I'm just going to say, excuse me. Why do you really think you should be mayor of Canton when you can't hold a teacher's license because you cheated on test scores and made our people of Canton a little bit dumber?
Yep.
I don't understand that. And I don't understand why the state hadn't taken over that district, because you had F, DF, DF, and then all of a sudden you had the C.
Right.
You should have known better. But anyway, and then that C came from test scores, cheating.
Yeah.
So actually, you should have already taken over that district.
True.
So I don't understand. But I mean, they have problems with education. They don't understand that it's real easy, people. You need to be allowing school choice on the basis that they're allowing it, where the homeschool will let you leave if there's a place for you at the other school.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But I think that's also going to be the transfer portal for football players and basketball players in high school. I think that's what it'll turn into.
Yeah. But instead of education, it'll be about athletics.
But the other side of that is, if that player can get moved somewhere to where he's going to be great and make and actually get an NIL deal and play college ball and become an All-American.
I mean, some schools are going to have stronger athletic departments. I want to be sure that all of our children are educated and fed, but not everyone has to have an unbelievable athletics.
But that is a situation. That is a real deal here.
It is.
And then as far as funding schools, okay, you're going to get some money from Washington. And you're going to send it to the school districts. How about we cut down on how many school districts we have in the state? It's easier to follow the money when you know everybody. How about just one school district in each county?
How about
one school district in each county? Now, that really sucks for Hinds County, because you have Hinds County School District, you got Jackson School District, and you got Clinton School District.
Yeah, you got Byram.
So when you throw them all together,
we can't do.
But you see what I'm saying?
Well, but why do we have to do the same thing in every county? Why can't we pick and choose and fit and have some do what's best for each school instead of having to do everything the same at all.
See, what I'm saying is,
I mean, because my struggle in Jackson, you're sitting here talking about school districts, whereas I'm thinking about I've got kids that aren't eating in my district.
well,
I mean, y'all go into South Jackson and we've got young children who are only being fed at school.
okay.
And that's not
that's the
enough.
parents. That's the parents.
That is the parents.
That's the parents.
Exactly.
Because we have SNAP and we have plenty of food programs here in Mississippi. There is no reason to be hungry.
But well,
and look, and let's.
I'm sorry, but if we believe that the food that's going home for our children is not being eaten by their parents,
well, yeah.
But see, that's what I'm saying. We've got children who oppose from all the adults, whereas I would rather us focus on be sure that we're feeding each child.
Well, let's put it this way.
Not their parents. That's one of my problems about feeding all these kids. Is I don't want to feed their parents. I want to feed the children.
But when you when you go into a grocery store and somebody says, I don't eat that garbage you got in your thing, I buy steaks. I buy this. And then they swipe that card.
I've seen it.
I've
seen it. I was raised to be embarrassed if you couldn't take care of yourself.
Well, so that's what I'm saying. Sometimes it seems like you miss the cultural difference of what is occurring here. And I mean, that's just the way it is.
Well, no, I'm not saying that's not the way it is. I'm saying that's not the way it has to continue to be. Right. We need to fix it.
Yeah, you need to fix it.
So my fixing is that I've got to feed these kids.
Well, you got to
because we can't educate them if they're hungry. And that's what I'm hearing is one of the big problems is they're hungry.
Okay. And are they hungry because they are brought up to eat honey buns and sweet tea? I mean, and they put all the sugar in their system. I mean,
I don't know.
You know exactly.
I don't know. Or is it because the parents are feeding their own face and not their own? I mean, kids are kids. They need to eat a lot. They need to eat often. They can't. I mean, if they're in school from 7 to 2, you can't feed, or 7 to 3, you can't feed a child at 3 o'clock and them not be hungry at 7 and 8.
Well,
so I mean,
the parents have to see. That's the problem. The parents have to take some responsibility.
They do, but if they're not, I'm not going to let a child swing because their parents are going to take responsibility for them, or else half the people in the world should be swinging.
Sometimes you just drive me up a wall because I don't understand. Let's take a break and we're going to come back. We're going to figure this out. We're going to figure it out this morning on the radio right here on WYEB, the Chip Matthews Show with Taylor Turcottee.
Be that easy.
I got boxing gloves. Hold on.
Come on.
And we're back on WYAB. Chip
Good
Matthews,
morning, all.
Taylor Turcottee, and we're having a discussion about feeding youngins.
Feeding youngins.
But what I was having a discussion about before we got to that on why the school grade scores are so important.
Right.
Okay. And you went, well, we got to feed the kids.
Well, yeah, I went off on a tangent. Sorry.
Okay. Well, let's just go back.
Yep.
In order for Jackson
Mm-hmm.
to grow economically and have more jobs available in Jackson and Hinds County,
Right.
you got to get the grade scores up.
Yep.
Okay. The reason why Canton
Mm-hmm.
gets all the businesses, you're going, well, Canton has bad school scores. No, they never refer to it as Canton.
Right.
They refer to it as the Madison County Super Site, and they tie all the scores to Madison Central and
Right.
Gladstadt,
Okay.
where it's an A.
Right. Of course.
Okay.
Right.
So
Right.
people want to, when you know, it's disingenuous of the state, but I
Mhm.
mean, as a salesman, you know, you're selling a
You-
car,
yeah.
you cover up, you
Yep.
know, hey, those tires are bald. No, those tires are slick and ready to roll. that will keep the road back into your car turning quicker,
Uh-huh.
you know.
Cut down the friction on the
Cut
road
down
and
the
you can move
friction.
fast. You can
Oh,
you'll
that
drive
broken
faster.
windshield. You were going to wind up with one in a month anyway. If you
I
have
know.
it broken now, you'll be fine. It'll be,
It's already taken that
and
first
none of
hit.
it's in the middle. It's taking the first hit. It won't get hit again because as soon as you get a new one,
It's gonna
it's
get a hit.
always going to get a ding. So Jackson has to fix all of that. And see, in Madison County, that's why they keep Canton school numbers out of the
right.
out of what they present to these businesses that want to come to Madison County.
Mhm.
They
Mhm.
keep that out. They give
Mhm.
those numbers. Then they give the growth numbers of the county
Mm-hmm.
because Canton hadn't built a new house in 100 years. I mean, there's an individual house here or there, but I
Right.
mean, as far as a neighborhood or something like that, or a big project,
Mm-hmm.
it hadn't happened. And now you have a lot that have been built in the Canton School District. That's the trick.
Right.
And then those people buy those houses and they go, my kid's got to go to Canton. And you go, yeah,
Yep.
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 And then they go, well, that ain't happening. And they have to go and get funding to go somewhere else or figure out how to move
Mm-hmm.
or, you know, whatever it takes to move your kid. And that is the problem. Okay. Now, as far as feeding them.
Yep. Well, I mean, it's going to take off the box. I mean, honestly, I realize I'm up against something that it's going to take some out the box thinking, but I mean, we have to do it.
Well, yeah, you have to do it. But the reality is, in order to feed the children, the parents have to want to feed the children. That's the sad thing.
It is.
And when the parents, I mean, look.
But I mean, I have to work my way around that. And on
Some
top
of-
of that, I have to be sure that I'm not feeding the parents and instead of
Well,
the kids.
And well, it doesn't matter if you feed the parent. There's enough food there for everyone if they're getting $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month. And you go, oh,
But see, I don't want them to get $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month. I don't want them to get anything, and I want them to.
well,
I
no,
mean,
that's not what
honestly,
I'm saying. I'm saying you got the money.
yeah.
Okay, now just go buy some food.
Well,
Nobody,
that would be maybe I should start there, and hopefully they'll respond to that.
you know, they're taking that money and they go to stores that
Mhm.
will sell them. Let's say, for instance,
Yep. It's the same
we'll
thing
get-
as with taxes. You don't care if you're spending somebody else's money. If you don't have to
Well,
work for money, you don't appreciate
Well,
it.
let's say, for instance, if you got a
You're
card,
handed it and given it.
you have a card and you go to a certain store in Jackson
Mhm.
that I do know exists, and they
Mhm.
will give you 50 cents on the dollar. Okay. So,
Yep.
and you can turn that into liquor and get my hair did, my nails did.
Exactly. You'll sell out $100
Yeah.
for 50 because you didn't work to get any of it.
And see, all of this corruption, we
Easy
need to
come, easy
figure a
go.
way around it. See, now used to the food program only went to certain food items.
Right.
Okay.
Like milk. I remember that.
And then they turned it into a racial issue, saying that you're cutting us off from getting the honey buns and the Cheerio, not Cheerios, but
The stuff
Fruit
that we're
Loops.
finding has been poisoning us all these years.
Yeah, and I mean, and that is an issue. I mean, but the reality is, if you live in a house and want those things,
Yeah.
go get a job.
I wonder
Go
how
make
many.
some money.
I honestly, it really does not make sense to me that people that are on SNAP that cannot feed themselves and pretty much will take whatever food you give them are complaining that we're not giving you honey buns. That to me sounds like a bunch of politicians coming up with an excuse or a reason that the everyday person, for them to then do what they wanted to do and just hand out money to kind of grease those wheels.
In Benny's district, and you got to look at it, the store lobbies and the food lobbies are all going to want you to give them as much money as you can and they're going to fight you to open the door to where you can buy the sugary food.
Exactly. I highly doubt that it was the person needing the assistance that wanted the ability to buy all of the other junk and not just the basics.
I know a store in Jackson.
Because you were supposed to, it was only supposed to be like edible foods, like milk and cheeses and eggs and food items, not.
And that was there was also an FDA program,
right?
And there was a ag commission program,
yeah.
Where and that would be great if we could take it and say, okay, these things need to be spent at farmers markets and places like that. Because, Andy's opening up those new farm markets
everywhere
that are going to be across the state. And we could, I'm sure there would be a way to work a deal to where that dollar goes farther there.
Oh, I'm sure it would go very much farther there because it's not processed foods. Right. It's just that most of it. And actually, I saw Leslie Gibson did a show where she was cooking chicken and how easy it is to take a stick of butter and chicken. And
oh, you didn't know people could cook chicken?
I did, but
what do you eat?
I'm a single female, so I eat apples and fig bars. And anyway, families though, it's hard.
Apple and fig bars.
Well, I don't cook.
You're not a granola person. I mean, what are you? I mean, what do you mean you don't eat?
I don't cook. I didn't say I didn't eat. I said I don't cook.
Why not?
Because I don't have anybody to cook for it, and I don't have the.
You hadn't got to cook that much.
I don't have the attention span. I don't care to. I want to quick and easy. Anyway,
and that's what's wrong with America and these kids and these parents. They want to eat them and get back to their
exactly. Well, I mean, if I had someone else to feed with me, then I probably would put some effort into it. But it's no fun to eat. I don't want to sit there and eat a meal by myself. I mean, it's just doesn't fit into my life. Now, if I had children and people in my house and that kind of thing, yes, it would.
Well, even going out to eat, you don't go out by yourself to eat.
No.
Okay. And see, and I'm sure
I know a lot of people do, but
let me put it this way. Over the years, I remember when that was wrong. And like, for instance, Fred Cerami taught me this years ago when he was out on the reservoir. He says, when a lady would come into town and sit by herself, he would always go sit down with her and eat in his restaurants with her, just to make them feel at home. Or he would find other people that they could sit with, or this, that, and the other. He said it was just something that he did to where people didn't. Let me tell you this. If I can go into a restaurant and my phone not go off and nobody will come up and bother me while I sit down to eat, I am a happy camper. For years, anywhere I go.
Yeah.
And
never... see, for me, like I'm going to lunch today with a friend of mine. And I mean, I probably will not eat much because the majority of time that I'm at lunch with somebody, I'm talking because I haven't seen them. I'm but.
Well, you've been getting all your talking out up here. So maybe you'll be able to listen to your friend.
Well, it's pot roast day at Martin's. So yeah, I'm going to eat a pot roast today.
Okay.
Don't we have Martin's as a advertiser? Yeah, I'll be down there. They have pot roast on Thursday that is unbelievable.
And remember,
I love it.
Go to all our sponsors that are on this radio station. These people are local people that believe in the truth. This radio station should be called The Truth more than it should be called WYAB. But yabba yabba, this station, I mean, great sponsors, great people out there. You could join that team by just calling any one of us, and then we'll get you on the air with us, and you'll get commercials where we talk, and you'll get commercials that are canned and run.
And if I can remind everybody, downtown Jackson is under the CCID and Capitol Police, and you can go to downtown Jackson during the day, and it is safe. So go to Martin's and have lunch.
Okay. Jackson.
They've redone everything. It's so much fun.
We're going to come back, and we're going to talk about downtown partners taking over Smith Park.
Nope.
That's what's fixing to happen. Whoa. We got to take a commercial break. Hold your water.
I am.
We'll be back right here with Chip Matthews and Taylor Turcottee on WYAB. Dun, 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 dun,
Breaking news.
dun, 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 breaking news here on WYAB
Or it could also be tonight on Dateline.
tonight on Dateline. Kids go hungry.
Kids not.
But
being
anyway,
Grouchy.
okay. So now we're in a discussion. We were. I said we'd come back and talk about what was it? I have short-term memory loss.
About bringing stuff into Jackson.
Okay, we're talking
right?
about downtown Jackson. Okay, and I was talking about Smith Park.
Smith Park. That's right.
Smith Park is being taken over by Downtown Partners.
Okay.
And they said that, and they're privately funded,
They are.
and they want to keep it clean,
Mhm.
fix the sidewalks,
Mhm.
and help book events there.
Okay.
Okay. That is good.
That's very good.
Okay. And that's what they should be doing.
Yep.
But that's what the city should be doing also. You have a Parks and Recreation Department.
Of course we do.
Okay.
So
But,
when
you know,
we
the-
get when we change the leadership of Jackson to non-politicians, then we can kick in and start helping that.
Well, I'm not going to say you don't need politicians. I'm just
Well,
going to say
we
you
have
you need-
one. We
you-
have one
you
that
need
has
somebody
been
honest.
behind the lines in the local politician. His name is David Archie, and if we put him
Hey,
at the head,
hey, I'm told
What?
you about that. We're not going to push.
why?
We're not going to push
Why
one
can I
candidate.
not?
We're not going to push just one candidate.
Well, we don't have to. Why can't I?
You can't.
Everybody should know that
I know that everybody knows that you like David Archie.
Okay.
That's not a problem.
Well,
okay.
good. He should be the next mayor. He will be the best next mayor
Okay.
of Jackson.
First, we got to get through the Democratic primary, and
We
he
do.
and he is on that ballot.
He is on
Okay,
that
So
ballot.
we'll go there. But as far
And there is, and we can go ahead and mention that the mayoral debate at Jackson State Union of the Liberal Arts is tonight as well. They'll have
tonight.
all the mayors. And if you just go to Jackson State campus, the Liberal Arts building is very well labeled. So you'll see signs that say Liberal Arts building. And you go to the auditorium that's at the very front of the building. There you go.
now you can say,
And they will be Facebook living it as well. So y'all, if you can't make it, watch it.
and in Canton, we'll be at the Canton High School
Mhm.
doing the thing.
And all of these Facebook lives, you can go back and rewatch as well.
Yes, yes.
Log into the pages and scroll back on their page. And you
But
can
as
watch them.
far as what we're going to do here, what I was going for
Yes.
is the development of downtown Jackson comes at a price that has to require businesses move back there. Now you're tearing
Of
down
course.
the old Sears building, which is the Eudora Welty, tearing
Library.
that down to make more green space.
Okay.
Okay. So what is the plan to bring you talk about a tourist attraction or tourist district, and so to be like New Orleans. In
Mhm.
New Orleans, when you go into
I don't want it.
when you go into, I'm not talking about the entertainment part of the district.
Right.
If you go over a street, Magazine Street, or you go over to Royale,
Right.
when you go over the Royal Street and you go down, they have the
Right.
different shops, and this you have
Right.
merchants, you have something for the tourists to spend.
You do.
See, right now, if you go in, and you'd be surprised, you go into downtown Jackson on a Sunday,
Uh-huh.
people are in the museums and they're looking. They
Right.
go by and look at the old Capitol Museum.
Right.
They go over and see the statue there. There's a jade statue
Right.
of Jefferson Davis.
Uh-huh.
and
There's the
stuff like that.
War Memorial right there.
War Memorial and all of that. And then we have, of course, the two Mississippi museums, which we should have
Right.
just had one,
Well,
but
yeah.
two. We don't.
I mean, it is one. It's under one roof.
we have one history.
We do.
We don't have two histories.
Exactly. If
I
they
mean-
blended it all together, then everybody would be forced to look at all of it, not choose one side or the other.
Correct. And it's,
But see, my plan is not to bring just any tourist, and it's not about recreating New Orleans. My plan is to make it friendly for New Orleans residents to come and have their own area. And if we can get Thalia Mahara open back, we need a weekend full of activities
okay. You got to have
downtown.
you got to have more than the weekend. You got to bring back Jubilee Jam and some events to bring people back downtown. But
Yes.
But your biggest problem in Jackson is, and this is all over the city, is you're losing your businesses, and you have to get the business people want to come back.
Exactly. Why are we losing businesses?
You're losing businesses because when you bring in the
No.
hold on, you hadn't heard what I said. When you bring in the tourist and you carry them downtown, you put them in a hotel that they think is convenient off the interstate, all it does is you walk up and down and it smells like pot.
Exactly.
It smells like pot. Outside, the hookers are hanging out, the homeless people are hanging out, and
Yes.
nobody's fixing it.
Exactly. That's the problem, is that we need new leadership. That's what will change everything in Jackson, is new leadership, because then we can start looking at these businesses and saying, yes, we can cut the red tape, we can cut taxes and make business. But the overall thing to do to change all of these little trickle down things is to change the leadership,
and then from the leadership,
and
you've
get
got
the
to
politicians out.
You've got to change the culture.
Yes.
And if you don't change the culture, you haven't done anything.
Exactly.
And it's not going to work.
Exactly. But the culture is not going to change as long as we have leadership that's just wanting to rob everybody
Okay,
blind.
so for start, well, they want to rob everybody blind because
Right.
it gets to the point where you're beating your head against the wall because you can't get any help.
Exactly. Because
Okay.
exactly.
And then that's because your
So we've got-
congressional leader, Benny Thompson, is not going to help you. He wants his cut.
He does.
He wants his cut.
He does.
I'm not
We've
giving
got
you
to,
anything.
We've got to get
And
rid of
if
all of that.
You talk about all the hungry kids and all of that in Mississippi. They're in Benny's district.
They are. They're in Jackson.
They're there.
They're in
And
Jackson.
It's just ridiculous.
It's the majority of the metro children that are starving. I don't think the ones out in the country are doing as bad. I mean, I haven't figured that out yet. That's what I'm gonna have to look at. But
need to give
change the leadership and everything else will change. It's just like with Trump. You change the values of the leadership of the city, and everything else will fall into place.
So
but we have got to have new leaders that are not the same old politicians that we've had.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, there's only 2 real politicians in that whole loop.
No,
all the rest.
There are a lot of politicians there.
Well,
you can even call Socrates.
Last night,
Socrates Garrett is a politician.
If you look at the stage last night at Dooling, we have got 5 or 6 people that sat on that stage that are not politicians. One that I don't know and I don't trust, but the other ones, all of the other ones, independent and Democrats that were up on the stage at Dooling Hall last night, they are all non-politicians. They all have ideas, and they are all hungry to help the city of Jackson and change the vision of leadership, not what they can take off the city, not the money. None of those people last night are thinking about the money. We're thinking about doing what's best
and
for
we're
Jackson.
fixing to run out of time. But I will tell you this. Somebody needs to go and see how many of those people running for mayor or running for office in Jackson that has a 503c, that has a nonprofit attached to them, because that is someone who is figured out how to get the graft and put it in their pockets.
Okay. Good point. I'll take that.
Have you thought about that?
I have not, but because we'll see.
I keep listening to Kim and what Kim says about where you're not getting taxes and this, that, and the other.
Mm-hmm.
That's people that are playing the system.
Yep.
And people are playing the system, and the system is there to be played. It's like Trump.
Well, see, we've got to get rid of that system to be played.
Okay, don't get wound up too quick because we're fixing to be off the air. So say goodbye, Taylor Turcottee.
Goodbye, Taylor Turcottee.
And
follow me on Facebook, 2 T's and an E.
And I am Chip Matthews, and I will see you back. We'll be back here tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., talking about it. And like Fred Cerami says here, let Chip talk.
You talk all the time. Last week, didn't we have something about you over talking to me?